Hello everyone, how are you? I have prepared few questions related to integrations. So these are purely based on my knowledge, okay, and I wanted to share with you. These are basics and some complex questions as well, okay. So let's go to it and see the questions one by one. I hope it will help you. Let me share my screen. Okay, so these are the questions. First of all, let's start with the basic. What is ServiceNow integration? So it is basically a process of connecting ServiceNow platform with other applications. So we are connecting two applications here. One is ServiceNow platform. It means your instance and some other application. Why we are connecting? Why we are connecting to systems? This is to facilitate something. What facilitation? It is data exchange and maybe streamlining the workflows. Okay. So we can do this with the help of APIs. There are web services, there are email via email as well, right? We are sending email or someone is sending email to ServiceNow, ticket is created. This is also interaction of two system and something is happening, right? So this is again something exchanging here. So various ways to integration in ServiceNow. So I hope you understand the basic of integration. Let's move to the next question. So what all different type of integrations we have in ServiceNow? So in ServiceNow, we have various type of integrations. We can do integration using various things. The very common and best one is web services. So we have REST and SOAP web services. Using these web services, we can do integration. How to do that? We have already videos in our other channel, which is ServiceNow 911. You can go and check it from there. Okay. Very simply, I have explained each and everything. Then we have email integration, like inbound email integration and all. I already explained in the first question. Then we have LDAP integrations in the Active Directory. It means the integration is happening via or through Active Directory of your company. The data of the user and groups and all coming into ServiceNow using that integration. Next is import set. It means we are connecting with the system or we are importing data from outside. So this is also a kind of integration. Okay. Let's say you have your legacy applications. These legacy applications are placing data, somewhere, some file using FTP, and then you are fetching that data and updating the tables of ServiceNow. This is also a kind of integration. Then we have mid-server integration. Okay, mid-server means mid-server is facilitating the integration. How? If you are aware of discovery, what we are doing, we are getting the data from outside your networks, your infrastructure, and then putting that data into ServiceNow CMDB. This is also a kind of integration. So these are the basic types. You may have more. You can dig deep, okay? But just I have prepared this list. Now let's move to the next question. Can you explain inbound integration in ServiceNow? So again, this is a type of integration. So what is inbound integration? It allows external system to send data into ServiceNow using APIs. For example, a CRM system might create an incident in ServiceNow based on the customer feedback. So what we are doing here, we are using APIs and sending data into ServiceNow. It means from outside, the data is coming into ServiceNow. Some request is coming into ServiceNow and then ServiceNow behaving. ServiceNow is responding. Like here, ServiceNow is creating incident into ServiceNow. Okay. Some, you can say some kind of trigger is coming from outside and then something is happening here. This is known as inbound. And what is outbound? Next question is, what is outbound? It means ServiceNow is sending data, sending request outside to access some feature from some other application. This is outbound. So what it is written here, outbound integration involves sending data from ServiceNow to external system. It means ServiceNow in outbound is acting as a consumer, okay? Whereas in inbound, ServiceNow is service provider. I hope you understand the difference here. How we can do inbound and outbound? We have REST and SOAP APIs available to do that. Now let's move to question number 5. How does ServiceNow use REST API for integration? So ServiceNow provide REST APIs that allow external applications to perform operations. We can call it as a CRUD, okay? Creating, reading, updating, and deleting. Okay, this is CRUD with a particular record within ServiceNow. So using REST API, we can do all these things, okay, within the ServiceNow tables, in the records or on the records. Question number 6. What roles does the mid server play in integration? I already explained in the very first question, right? So the mid server act as a bridge between ServiceNow and external system. What is external system here? External system is the network of client where the mid server is installed. And from that network, it is sending data to ServiceNow. And then that data is being updated in ServiceNow CMDB or any other table of ServiceNow, mostly in CMDB, but you can update other tables as well. Okay. So mid server act as a bridge between ServiceNow and external systems, enabling secured communication and facilitate integration that require access on the on-premise resources. It means we are talking within the network of that particular company or client. If you have installed mid server, you know how to install mid server. If you don't know, we already have videos related to that in our ServiceNow 911 channel. Question number 7. What are the some common challenges faced during ServiceNow integration? So what all challenges we face? This is the most interesting one because we face n number of challenges when we do integration. Okay, so it is authentication issue. It means you are ready with your request, but when you are interacting with the third party or any other system, you are not able to get in because you do not have the authentication, or the user ID or password which you have is not correct. This may be possible, right? And when you do not have the correct ID password, you are not able to log in, hence integration failed. Most common. Then data transformation problem. It may be possible that the data which you are receiving from the second system or third party, it is not in the same format which is needed in ServiceNow. It means, let's say, most common thing is you are updating a particular string field in ServiceNow, okay, and the data which is coming there is having much more length than specified one in ServiceNow field. In that case, the data will not be accurate. It will be truncated here. Okay, that means you are getting a garbage data. So this is also one of the problem which we face in integration. Then performance bottleneck. Obviously, when the data which is coming is huge, it means it may cause problem in ServiceNow performance. That's why it is recommended to do large chunk of data import during midnights or during off hours. Okay, you have to manage such things, but this is also one of the common problem. Security vulnerability. Nowadays, you see various security vulnerabilities are there. So you have to be very sure whether you are sending and getting data which is completely secure or not. Then maintainability concerns. Yes, again, this is related to the large amount of data as well as uh, the quality of data which you are getting. So these are the some common challenges which we face during integration. You may have more than that. If you have, just comment in the comment section. Let's move to next one. Question number 8. How do you ensure security in ServiceNow integration? Security is very much important whenever you are doing integration because you are exposing your system to something else, right? Some other application. It may be possible that from that application, some hacking or some vulnerability issues may happen. Okay, so you have to be very sure whatever you are sending, whatever you are getting is completely secure. That's why we have here this question. So the first one is using auth for API authentication. So we can do authentication by various methods, and auth is one of the secure one. Okay, what is auth? We already have video. You can go and check there. Okay, here we have some token system. Then we have implementing role-based access control. You know what is an access control, what is the process, and what is the importance of access control. And while doing integration, we have to be very sure we should know that whoever user is doing integration, he has sufficient privileges, sufficient role, but not more than that. Okay. So you have to be very sure about that. Generally, when we do integration, we create a system user. Let's say for discovery, in my company, we have some kind of mid server user. So that mid server user should have proper communication, proper authentication. Okay. So that ACL should be properly checked and verified. Next is encrypting sensitive data during transmission. So protecting sensitive data is very important. Okay. For example, in LDAP integration, we are sending data from client network or client to ServiceNow, right? So in that case, let's say there is some sensitive data, let's say personal information, mobile number, or any other personal detail. When we are sending it, it should be properly encrypted. So ServiceNow is taking care of all these things. Okay. But if you are adding something which is not out of box, but it is sensitive, you have to use encryption there. You have to use encrypted field so that it will be protected automatically and no harm will be done. Okay. Then we have regularly auditing API access logs. It means you have to check whether the APIs which you are using are behaving properly or not. Are they being accessed by someone else, or there is any vulnerability associated with that? So all these things you have to take care. You have to make sure when we are doing integration. Okay, this is the security measures which you have to take care. You can also go to ServiceNow, High website and check the best recommendation for implementing security. This will also help, but for integration you have to take care of all these things. Question number 9: what is the purpose of integration hub in ServiceNow? You must have heard about integration hub. Till now we are using n number of ways to do integration, but using integration hub, now integration is very very easy. ServiceNow has almost simplified the complete process of integration. Like, most common integrations are now very very simple. For example, integrating with Teams, you just need to use integration hub. Okay, you need a separate subscription for that. Obviously ServiceNow takes money, some money that you have to check with your account holder. Okay, but it is making integration very easy. Okay, so what is the answer here? Integration hub simplify the creation of integration by providing pre-built connectors and tools that allow users to design custom integration without extensive coding knowledge. Yes, drag and drop things are there. You just need to activate integration hub. So once it is active, you can use pre-built connector. So what is a pre-built connector here? You have to provide in the comment section. Tell me that particular terminology, okay? And then you can easily do the integration. So this is the advantage of integration hub. Next, 10th question, and this is the last question for this video. I will go through other questions later in a separate video. Can you explain what scoped applications are in relation to integration? Okay. Scoped application provide isolated environment for developing applications within ServiceNow, enhancing security and manageability during integration by preventing interference with other applications. So if you know scoped application, they are created and ServiceNow has provided this concept keeping the security in mind. It means until unless you want, nobody will able to interact with you. Nobody will able to use anything from you or see anything from you. Okay. So that is a complete isolation. Whenever that application, that scoped application needs some kind of integration, they can do that. Until unless they don't want, if they don't want, nobody can touch it. So this is a kind of security perspective related to scoped application. Okay. And integration as well. Because if you remember, when creating a particular scoped application, there is a security option where you have to configure whether this application will be accessible by other application or not, global application or not. In that case, you are implicitly define these things, okay, and then allowing integration. So this is the answer here. I hope you like these questions, and I will come up with more such questions. Try to add my knowledge, try to share whatever I know. It may be possible you have much more perspective, you have much more experience in that particular question. So kindly share it. Okay. If I'm wrong in somewhere, then also you can share so that everyone will get benefited. I'll come up with other questions. Thank you so much. Bye bye.